Soldier does not own a gun, has not shot or killed anyone, did not invade Grenada, Panama, Nicaragua, Kuwait, or Angola. Sister Soldier has not ever ordered the National Guard into anyone's community, has not made drug deals with Noriega. Sister Soldier has never been a member of a terrorist organization, has no history of crime whatsoever, has never lynched white people, burned crosses on their lawn, or hung them from trees. Sister Soldier has not systematically denied people the right to study and enjoy their culture in the so-called public educational system. Sister Soldier did not send the Haitians back to Haiti as though they were subhuman. Sister Soldier did not kill the native Indians under the guise of friendship. Sister Soldier did not cause or inspire police brutality, did not beat Rodney King or shoot Philip Pennell, never shot a little white girl in the head for stealing orange juice and killed her and let her murderers go free. Sister Soldier did not vote on the Simi Valley jury and let criminal cops go free. Sister Soldier did not create the economic conditions of South Central Los Angeles or any other urban area for that matter, did not create an environment of insecurity that forced young black men into gangs. Therefore, we can conclude that Sister Soldier is not a racist, nor is any...
What is up, guys? Happy Saturday to everybody that's watching my live stream. Man, shout out to Sister Soldier. Yeah, you know, first of all, fuck Bill Clinton. uh, so wait, because Sister Soldier speaks truth to power, so now she's compared to David Duke of the KKK. What the fuck? Oh my God, bro! And ain't this the same Bill Clinton that was on Jeffrey Epstein's jet? Was this the same Bill Clinton that wrote that signed the 1994 crime bill? Like, yeah, but to me, in terms of the crime bill wise, well, the Jeffrey Epstein thing too, like that's just, oh boy, I wish the real Epstein files would come out. Like, we know a lot of shit already, but like, man, like, you know, I noticed something, man. Like, I don't know who stepped to old boy or buddy boy Elon, you know, about saying that Trump was in them Epstein files. Somebody must have threatened him or something, because ever since then, man, this man been like stirred straight now. Because, but anyway, like, yeah. So, Sister Soldier, like she said, she hasn't commit war crimes. She haven't commit genocide. She haven't suppressed urban communities. You know, she haven't did any police brutality whatsoever. But yeah, but she's the enemy. Okay, and you see why our revolutionary leaders are either murked, or they are jailed, or they are, or just criticized, you know, on a daily basis. So yeah, shout out to Sister Soldier. She speaks truth to power. And one thing I like about social media too is that not only, you know, yeah, social media has its problems, but you get like little diamonds in the roughs like that on a daily basis, and I like that. Um, like, people need to know more about our past revolutionary leaders and our present revolutionary leaders now. So yeah. Anyway, I didn't even introduce the show good because man, that video hit me different. Welcome, guys, to the Good Faith Show. I'm Andre. The Good Faith Show is only on the ATP Network. Catch the ATP Network on Twitch, Kick, Rumble, YouTube, and Twitter. And also, too, I have some shameless plugs on the bottom of the screen. Follow the ATP Network's Twitter account. The handle is right there on the screen, ATP Network 247. And also, to like the video, it's free. It don't cost you nothing. So, and also to subscribe to our channels. Follow us, subscribe to us on YouTube. We almost at 1.3 thousand subscribers, which is pretty good for network that just started to get on his feet. Yeah, follow us on Rumble too. On Rumble also to help us get to 100 followers on Rumble. If you're watching this on Rumble, subscribe. Like, what are you doing with yourself? You know what I mean? And also to follow us on Twitch and Kick and and, well, Twitter. Y'all know about Twitter. So yeah, like the video. And also to go to GazaFunds.com. Help out the Palestinians any way you can. And also to Gaza Funds. It's not a scam. All of the money goes to the Palestinians. So you ain't gotta worry about, suspect shit. So just had to put that out there too as well. Yeah, so man, I got a jetpack show for you, man. I haven't been streaming in a while. Just so much shit going on. I've been so tired lately. Um, you know, it's just a lot of shit going on. But yeah, but I'm gonna try to start back streaming again. So, but anyways, I have a couple of video clips before I get to all of these news segments because oh boy, this is it's so much shit to talk about. My God, man. So I don't know how long this stream is gonna go. I'm not gonna tell you how long. But I'm pretty damn sure it's not gonna go for 30 minutes. So yeah. And also too, once we hit 1.5 thousand subscribers on YouTube, I might start going live. So, that way I could probably see one or two comments that we get. So, give appreciation to people that watch us a lot. And people say they do watch our content and the numbers do show it. So I appreciate all that. So let me get to this first clip. It's a very short clip, but you'll get the premise.
Want you to join the military. They want you poor and desperate enough to enlist.
Now, that was a very short clip, but if you get what she's saying, she's telling the exact God honest truth. Um, like they know that military recruitment is down. One thing that's crazy about this current administration, like they claim that oh, Job Corps is inefficient. It's a waste of money. You know, but like so and so buddy's military parade isn't a waste of money. Like driving tanks on the streets of a city that I'm pretty sure their infrastructure isn't up to par. Like yeah, see that's crazy about oh dude is not going to drive on the infrastructure. People that have to go to work and stuff will have to drive on the infrastructure, and you got military tanks on there for your dictatorial like fucking parade. But Job Corps is a waste of time. Like I'm paying for a military parade that shouldn't even be a thing. My thing is like, why not have a fucking birthday party in fucking Mar-a-Lago or something? It doesn't make any sense. Like, okay, only thing you gotta pay for is to fill up your goddamn Air Force One and go to fucking um damn in Florida somewhere, man. Like, come on, man. But yeah, back to Job Corps. I'm getting off topic. Like, yeah, they want you to join the military. Especially black and brown people. Even though that's crazy though. Like, you know, I might sound kind of like pro-black for a minute, but you get what I'm saying. Like, so you want black people to fight in a rich white man's war? And what I don't mean by rich white man's war, I mean like the corporate ghouls that these countries have, the resources, those resources that these companies want to steal instead of fucking doing it going through the right channels and working with these countries. Let's just go and just steal it. Let's just take it, and let's guard the oil fields too, for the big oil lobby as well. Yeah. Why not? But we need bodies to sacrifice in order to get this done. Which to me, it's like I ask myself, like, why are we not in the fucking streets at this point, man? Like, I think a lot of people see what's going on at this point. I think a lot more people than us commentators expect. It just, our content is not getting to the right people. I mean, it's not getting to everyone. So yeah, that's true. Job Corps, it's supposed to be for, I guess, troubled kids. It's supposed to be for like that, but it's supposed to give them an opportunity. Like, yeah, you can be 17, 18, you can, drive trucks and do other stuff, and, then they'll pay for it's kind of like trade school. Well, Job Corps is like a trade. It's like a kind of like a trade. Yeah, it really is a damn trade, but you get what I'm saying. Yeah, man. Yeah. So yeah, she telling the truth, man. And also too, I said before, I tried to record this, but StreamYard the other day was shitting on itself. I said too, it's one thing, that's crazy. Like, black and brown people already go through enough trauma in the United States as it is. Then you go overseas, you know, you see things that you don't see here that traumatizes you, that get you PTSD, and makes you bipolar pretty much. Just all of the negative traumas, not negative trauma, all of the traumas that you experience. Then you come over here when you damage goods and the government don't give a damn about you. And then also too, as well, damn, I'm just just stuff just not popping in my head. Like, this is why they don't want to have free college. This is why they don't want to have free healthcare. Say dangle it in your head. Oh, you want the free college? Or you want free healthcare? Or you want a VA loan, home loan? Or you gotta join the military and guard those oil fields for us. That's the only way. You know, you know, you'll be without healthcare. You'll be in student loan debt, and you'll be out on the streets. Which the craziest thing is, yeah, they got VA home loans, but how the fuck we still have so many veterans in the street? Like, most of the homeless people that I encounter are veterans, bro. Like, this country needs, man. Like, the tiki torches need to be out, man. Like, it need to be a massive movement in the streets, man. Um, like you kind of do see glimpse of that, like with the ICE protests and the George Floyd uprising and stuff like that. But like, I'm talking about like a serious, serious one, man. So yeah. But anyway, let me get to the next video right here.
Zuckerberg, I know you bought this app. I know that Meta is running TikTok right now, and I also know for a fact that there is no way that I would.
Hey, she said Meta is possibly running TikTok allegedly. Haven't been no reports of that. I just had to clarify that, but I wouldn't be surprised. Like, but you'll get what she's saying as the video continues.
Ever post a video for 20 minutes and nobody sees it. And the only reason why I'm so pressed about it is because it was a very informative video about what's going on in Memphis right now and how all of the residents who live in Memphis should have an exit plan at some point. And nobody saw it after 20 minutes. 0 views in 20 minutes. No, not with almost 20,000 followers. Absolutely not. So for anybody,
hell, my little TikTok account with what, almost 500 followers get sometimes 200 or 300 views in 20 minutes. Like, come on, yeah. We know the deal is with these social media platforms, and this is one thing too that I always like try to hammer down. Like, these platforms need to be treated like public utilities. Either like these platforms don't like your rhetoric or they don't like what you say. They go through the channels of suppression and shadow banning you and stuff like that, which is bullshit. Like, yeah, I mean, like, TikTok does a better job at giving out the news than goddamn corporate media and local news does. Only thing that local news do, hell, like, is talk about, crime in this so and so neighborhood, that's disenfranchised neighborhood. And a lot of times you gotta ask yourself, why do crime happens in these neighborhoods? In the neighborhoods that are the most poorest neighborhoods, to be exact. So yeah. I mean, like, I've been suppressed and shadow banned before. Trust me, I definitely know. Um, yeah, somebody with 20,000 subscribers, like, yeah, that shouldn't happen. Or, a lot of these platforms say, oh, it's a glitch, oh, our systems are down. No, it wasn't. Not it wasn't. You just don't want you just don't want people that lives in Memphis to know that Elon's giga computer is poisoning them. You know. Oh God. And also too, I noticed that like if I talked about anything that's non-political, it gets more views on TikTok. Um, which I don't want to. I want it to be mostly political because politics affects us every day. I know I get it. A lot of people, um, a lot of people are tuned out to politics, and I kind of understand why. I get it, but again, like it's still no excuse. Like politics affects you every day, no matter how you everything you do is political, baby. But here we go.
Who does see this, it's a lot of shit going on in Memphis due to the pollution, due to the supercomputer, with Claiborne Temple burning down, with the FBI being on their way because we are considered the homicide capital of the United States right now. Pay attention.
What she said right there, the homicide capital of the world. Um, you know, yeah. My thing is you got to ask again why. Like, why is Memphis is considered the homicide capital of the world? But my theory for that is that if people had their needs met, then crime wouldn't be a thing. Like, crime is a thing a desperality. Lord, I mean, people like, this nigga slow as hell. Anyway, like, yeah, like, um, see, this is what the sister wants, man. They if they know if our needs were met, it wouldn't be a need for police. It wouldn't be need for FBI. It wouldn't be need for all these, operative, like especially FBI, for example. They are wow. You talking about the deep state? Like a lot of people don't like talking about that, but maybe I need to bring somebody on that knows more about deep states. I need to start bringing people on um, that know more about this stuff than I do. But anyway, I'm gonna let her continue, man. Like, yeah, you gotta ask yourself why. Like, sometimes you gotta ask yourself the why, and what makes the system the way it is.
So what's going on? Like I said, I made a very important video with links included to government websites, and you made it so nobody saw it. Okay, so everybody be cautious, have your awareness on 1,000, and know what the fuck is going on in your city.
And also too, this is why electoral politics is important. I mean, politics on a local level, not on a national level, on a local level. Electoral politics on a local level is very important. Like a lot of people, like the craziest thing is one thing that's really suspect is that they let this XAI giga computer get built there very quickly before people really started to see what the fuck was going on. Like the last live stream I did when I was talking about this woman lost her granddad to COPD, and the guy didn't even smoke, and they live near Elon's supercomputer XAI thing. So yeah, like people need to be informed, man. You need to be informed of what's going on in your area, man. Um, like let's just keep it 100, man. The mayor's a token. They have no power. The city council really has the power, and most of them are bought and paid for. Like these real estate developers, which cause gentrification. Let's talk about that. Or billionaires come and want to build giga computers, and they always say, "Oh, this will bring jobs to the area. It'll bring economic." It's always about the money aspect. It's not about the people that lives in the city and just trying to survive in the city. I noticed that they always say that, like when they bring jobs to my city, like, yeah, yeah, it'll bring 1,000 jobs, but eventually they will probably do mass layoffs, which will lay people off. Um, and then most likely AI would take over those jobs. Like, let's just keep it 100. Like, why you think they pushing AI down our pipeline so hard, man? It's not because they care about people. See, they want us to get familiarized with AI, so when it do come, people will like, oh, like, no. Um, like even like Bill Gates' stupid ass said, "Oh, we may have a 1 day work week." Like, Are you gonna pay people wages for one day? No, you're not. Like you'll pay their whole week pay in one day? No. But my question is about AI and them taking our jobs is like, where are all the people at work? Where are they gonna go? Well, where are they gonna go? That's what I'm saying. Like but see, these capitalists, they're so evil, they're so diabolical, they don't even think about shit like that. See, as long as they got their 18th yacht, and um in their 18th mansion, like they don't give a fuck about you, the working class people, and that's why I say at these jobs, like, a lot of people are too beholden to their jobs too as well. Like this one guy, like I could tell like he wants to be promoted or something like that, and I'm like, dude, they don't want to promote you. If they're gonna promote you up a position, which he deserves, like he's a good worker, but like, dude, they want you just to shut up, go to work yourself to death, and go home for a few hours and come back and do the same thing. Like they don't give a fuck about you, bro. So yeah, I said a lot right there, man. It's a lot. So yeah, if you're just not coming in, like the video, um, you know, it's free. It don't cost you nothing. And also subscribe to the ATP network. I need to start saying that more. Subscribe on YouTube. Subscribe on Twitch. Subscribe on Rumble. Rockfin, not Rockfin. Um, we be on almost every platform, man. Kick. So yeah, so man, I got a lot of shit to talk about. So let's get to it. All right, guys. So um, I mean, this ain't no new news, but I'm supposed to talk about it. But again, like I said, StreamYard had like a kind of an outage a couple of days ago, and they say it was because of YouTube cloud services or some shit. I don't know, but anyway, it says Greta Thunberg. It's not Thunberg, guys. It's Thunberg. Deported from Israel, denounces Gaza war crimes. Like, if you don't know what was going on and you've been living on the rock for the last week and a half or so, Greta and a few other high-profile people decided to get on the flotilla, which is a Gaza aid ship, and head to Gaza port to give humanitarian aid to Gaza. Right? It sounds simple. And Israel did what a diabolical apartheid regime does, and intercepted the boat, kidnapped the people on the boat, Greta and the other people, and held them in a prison. But somebody else said this too. It makes sense. If Greta wasn't a high-profile figure, and those other people was, I think another guy, he played on Game of Thrones or something like that. Um, if they weren't like high-profile people, we pretty would assume that Israel would have unalived them. Like, I'm just keeping it 100 with you. Because apparently, it's been a couple of other times aid ships were supposed to go to Gaza, far back as 2008. Probably got the dates wrong, but in Israel unalived them, unfortunately. So yeah, this is from Reuters. Here's the video right here. It's just 56 seconds, but and just look on the expression of her face too, man. Like, yeah, man. Like it it says it all.
The goal of the trip was to get to Gaza and distribute emergency aid. But of course, we were aware of the risks involved, and we have done many risk assessments. By taking over a boat in international waters and taking it against our will to Israel, it is technically a kidnapping. So it is clear that we were not treated well in that aspect. As I said, it is nothing compared to what...
And if you look at, like, it's pictures of her on the plane, and I think Israel took pictures of her being held captive too. Like, she looks terrified, man. Like, and she said on here, like, yeah, like we were treated pretty badly for those couple of days. Um, yeah. But I'll let it finish out here.
What Palestinians have to endure on a daily basis.
Säger du om det? Inte det vår demokratiska rättighet att göra?
Okay, so that's that. But let me say this. I commend Greta and the other people for doing something. Um, how I describe it as very heroic in a lot of sense. Like they're risking their lives, man. Because to be honest with you, you don't know what Israel was planning. You remember that white stuff that was on their boat? Like I showed that on the live stream before this one. Like some people thought that was white phosphorus, which is very poisonous, very toxic. But it turns out it's some kind of like glow in the dark shit. So I guess Israel's weapons that the United States provided them could see the people on the boat, I guess, or whatnot. Like yeah, you have to go through that. Um, they cut off your communications. It was drones flying all over the ship. Yeah, I'll be very traumatic myself. Um, but yeah, man. Let me read it a little bit. It says Swedish campaigner Greta Thunberg was deported from Israel on Tuesday, the day after the Israeli Navy prevented her and a group of fellow pro-Palestinian activists from selling to Gaza. Israeli forces seized their small aid ship, which was breaking a long-standing naval blockade of Gaza, and the 12-strong crew were brought to Israel. Four of the group, including Thunberg, agreed to immediate deportation, while eight others contested the the repair repatri I can't even talk, man. Repatriation order. Yeah, repatriation. Um, repatriation. They have been detained near Tel Aviv airport, waiting a court hearing on their legal status. It says amongst those who have refused to leave are Rima Hassan, a French member of the European Parliament. We were 12 peaceful volunteers sailing on a civilian ship carrying humanitarian aid on international waters. We did not break laws. We did nothing wrong, Thunberg told reporters after she flew to Paris, accusing Israel of kidnapping her. And let me say this: a lot I'm pretty sure some people were saying like, "Oh, why she didn't stay and contest they right?" Well, first of all, I mean, I think Israel by force told deported her back. Um, you know, I guess because she's more of um, a bigger figure. I'm pretty sure the other 12 people probably say, Greta, we appreciate you. We're gonna fight this. You go back to Sweden and talk about what happened. I think that was what it was. So the other people are still held captive. Wait a minute. I think the last reporting I read, it said that um, four out of the 12 been deported back to their countries, but I think the other eight are still in Israel fighting this. So yeah, man. Like I think also you got to think about this too as well. Like you want the world to know like what happened when they got kidnapped. Let's just keep it 100. They got kidnapped. Um, and they've been tortured too. I mean, probably not physically, but yeah, mentally tortured. Like, yeah, like I'm pretty sure the IOL probably said all kinds of like, disgusting, vile things to them. Like, hey, we're gonna unalive you. We're gonna do this because you know them. Like, ain't this the same IOL, that said that got mad because they couldn't SA um, Palestinian prisoners? Like, come on. These people are fucking disgusting human beings. I just keep it 100. Just fucking disgusting. Um, there is a continued violation of international law and war crimes that Israel is systematically committing against Palestinians by not letting aid come into starving people. The 22-year-old Swede said Israel has imposed a rigid land air and sea blockade on Gaza, saying the shutdown is needed to prevent arms from reaching Hamas militants. What? What in the fuck? Hamas militants. Oh, we don't want Hamas. I don't know why I switched. Hold on, guys. We don't know. We don't want Hamas to get weapons. No, no, we don't want that. Uh, um, there we go. So that's why we put a blockade. Stop bullshitting, Israel. Israel's so full of shit. The reason why the reason why you put a blockade in Gaza is because you wanted to starve the Palestinians. Like it wasn't because of Hamas getting weapons. Oh man, like the DPRK. Shout out to the DPRK. They provided Hamas with weapons. So, but anyway, let me continue reading, man. Holy shit. Oh man. It lets in limited supply of food that are mainly distributed by private group and banks. Um, um, the Israeli foreign minister dismissed the Gaza-bound sea mission as pro-Hamas publicity stunt. Yeah, see that always their excuse. Oh, it's just pro-Hamas supporters, Oh, just trying to, just they probably had weapons on that. They probably had military weapons on that ship, Just, I mean, sometimes you just end up speechless at this point. Greta and her friends brought in a tiny amount of aid on their celebrity yacht. It did not help the people of Gaza. This was nothing but a ridiculous gimmick. Foreign Minister Gordon Sear told reporters on Tuesday. Of course, right? Um, SAR said a small quantity of supplies aboard the UK registered yacht will be transferred to Gaza through real humanitarian channels. Thunberg defended the aid effort organized by pro-Palestinian group called the Freedom Flotilla Coalition, saying a larger boat could carry a bigger cargo disabled last month in the Mediterranean by drones allegedly operated by Israel. So, yeah, they would have bought more aid. Yeah, it was a small amount of aid, but I mean, like, it's still heroic because I mean, like these people putting their lives on the line. Like, God forbid what could have happened, man, to them, man. You know, but they would have taken the larger boat, but yeah, Israel drones disable it. So yeah, that's that. But I'm pretty sure Israel will deny that, saying, "Oh no, no, we didn't have nothing to do with that." Oh my God, bro. Um, Let me see. She also laughed off the criticism from U.S. President Trump, who had described her as an angry person, saying, "I think the world needs a more young, angry woman, to be honest, especially with everything going on right now." Um, yeah, the angry woman trope. Yeah, I like it. Like we haven't heard that before. Read a little bit more of this. She added that it was unclear where she'll be heading next, telling reporters it could be Sweden. Thunberg travels mostly by train and has long shunned airplanes because of their hefty carbon emissions. In 2019, she crossed the Atlantic by boat to attend a climate summit. Um, and it says here Israel has imposed a naval blockade on Gaza since Hamas took control of the coastal enclave in 2007. I doubt they still have control of that now. It tightened its grip significantly after Hamas-led militants rampage through southern Israel on October 7th, killing more than 1,200. They always look. One thing about these fucking. It's one thing I hate about these mainstream news sites. They always bring up about the 1,200 people, which have that number been like reduced smaller, and they still saying it. Like, 400,000, which is the high end estimate, versus 1,200. Let's just say 1,200. I mean, like, come on, bro. Like the math, let the math here. Um, so yeah, I'm glad Greta is safe. Hope she, be all right. Cause it had to be frightening, man. Like you see what going on, what Israel's doing to Palestinians, and because you are pro-Palestine and you support them. Yeah, and I hope those other people survive too, because they are, as of right now, they still fighting. Like, hey, we didn't do anything wrong. They didn't do anything wrong. So, all right, guys, let me get to the next story. All right, guys. So, on the lighter side of news, I remember back in the day they used to say on the lighter side of news. They don't do that anymore. Um, yeah, times have changed, right? But yeah, for real. Yeah, I know this. I mean, this been out for almost 2 weeks now. Man, I'm always late to shit. Damn, man. I'm telling y'all, man, I need more time on my hands. I swear. When you so busy, man, it's just hard to keep up because there's just so much shit in the news. You know what I mean? But this is some good news though. Kshama Sawant announces she's running for Congress. Now, obviously that's an independent, so you know, hey, as long as you're not in the duopoly, hey, you fine with me. As long as you're not in the duopoly and you have good policy, that's all I care about. Um, but this is from the local Seattle affiliate that announced this. So I'm gonna play this, and I got a couple of more things to show y'all. So here we go.
Is launching a familiar name in Seattle politics is launching a new campaign. Today, Kshama Sawant announced that she filed to run for Congress. She is running for the 9th Congressional District. That seat is currently held by Democrat Adam Smith. Sawant served on the Seattle City Council from 2014 to 2024. According to the Federal Elections Commission document, her campaign is listed as an independent.
Okay, so that's the first video. Like, wow, she's been in the city council for 10 years. Like, wow, she done the amazing work. Man, I wish every city council in these cities had a Kshama Sawant, a person that actually give a fuck about people. This is, I think, a lot of reasons, like, some people probably say, oh man, like she just gonna be an outlier, she just doing what the squad doing, but she's not doing through a duopoly. True. But again, like I see some value in this, man. Like, hey, who knows? Like the tiebreaker vote, maybe Kshama Sawant could be the tiebreaker, and she could get a lot of concessions. Like you don't know, man. I mean, like I thought about that too. Um, like imagine like 15, 20, or 30 Kshama Sawants ran for Congress. Like holy shit. And it won. Like, yeah, things will it still be corruption. Like corruption it's not gonna go away anytime soon. I get that, but like at least the pendulum be swinging in the right direction instead of like we supposed to thought the squad was supposed to be. Like Cal Kalinske always said, the squad was supposed to be the left Tea Party, but they turned out to be feckless Democrats just to bend the knee to the leadership. But anyway, I got another video to show you. This one gonna be a little bit longer. Um, this is basically the announcement for Kshama Sawant herself announcing the run for Congress. So yeah, I mean it's a great thing, man. I really like, yeah, man. I really do love this. You know, like I mean, I'm gonna say this too as a side note too. Even though sometimes I feel like a lot of people. The reason why a lot of people say, "Hey, I have good intent, but I have to run in a Democratic Party," is because that's where most of the you get more eyeballs on you, which is true, unfortunately, because the system, instead of it being a multi-party electorate, is down to two parties. But my thing is, if you running for Congress, but you don't like the Democratic establishment, why are you running in a Democratic Party? It don't make any sense. You know what I mean? Like, it's a couple of people, they have good, I think they thinking good, but, you're thinking the wrong way. Like, Kshama Sawant is doing it the way it should have been done in the first place. Why the squad couldn't run this independence? Well, I mean, why ALC and Rashida Tlaib and Omar, like, why they couldn't run this independence? Like, they could have did what Kshama Sawant did. Like, they would have won. Like, I believe they would have won. But, yeah, like, but anyway, let's play some of this right here.
Office went to war for working people to defeat the strenuous opposition from both big business and the Democratic Party, and again we won. When I first ran for the Seattle City Council in 2013, I campaigned on a $15 an hour minimum wage. It was dismissed as utopian at the time. I also ran on taxing the rich and on rent control. Unlike the Squad and other progressives, I kept my promises. Less than 6 months after my...
You know what? I'm going to say this too as a side note. Consistency is the key. Like, if Kshama Sawant say, I'm going to do something, she did it. The Squad, on the other hand, abolish ICE. Oh, well, or they'll start talking about it or start tweeting about it, Oh, I'm going to do this. Oh, Medicare for all. Oh, I'm going to stop talking about Medicare for all. And just, because Biden is in office and had to bend the knee to the Dummy party, I'm just going to talk about, let's lower the age from 65 to 60. Like, wow. But anyway, let me continue.
Election, we won the nation's first major city $15 an hour minimum wage, a wage that is now the highest in the country at $20.76 an hour, because we also won inflation increases. It was after our victory.
That's amazing.
Here that the fight for 15 spread around the country. In 2020, we won the Amazon tax, which raises hundreds of millions of dollars annually from the city's wealthiest businesses to fund affordable housing. So yes, it is possible to defeat Amazon even on their home turf. We won a slew of renters' rights victories, including limits on previously exorbitant move-in fees, a $10 cap on late rent fees, a requirement of 6 months' notice for rent increases, economic evictions assistance forcing landlords to pay 3 months' rent to tenants forced to leave due to rent increases of 10% or more, a ban on evictions in winter months, and a ban on school year evictions of children and public school workers. These victories...
Now, if Kshama Sawant could get all that done, like that's some amazing ass shit right there, man. That's wow. Now, she could get all that shit done, but the Squad couldn't do the bare minimum and force the vote for Medicare for all, man. Which I'm about to talk about in my next segment, but like, come on, man. Like, yeah. A real fighter versus a bunch of posers. Like, I consider the Squad to be just full of shit. Like, just, especially the ALC, man. Like, out of all of them, I think ALC is the most performative motherfucker, like, when the media was talking about the Squad, all you see was ALC mostly. Even on that Netflix documentary. Like, that's most of the time you saw. Like even ALC's past, like her father was an architect. Like even her past history was kind of wonky. So yeah, man. I'd rather have a Kshama Sawant in Congress fighting for me rather than some posers pretending to be pretending to care about the people in their districts, man. All right, let me continue.
Sent corporate landlords into an uproar. One of the city's real estate lobbyists, brother of recent Mayor Jenny Durkin, complained that every dollar spent on the Seattle City Council was being wasted because of Sawant's army. Sometimes your enemies give the best compliments.
Sawant's army. That's funny, man. Like, oh, Kshama Sawant is messing with my profits. Man, you gotta do something about it. Oh man, these fucking corporate ghouls, man. I tell you,
We won because we didn't put faith in the utterly failed strategy of trying to reform the Democratic or Republican Party or winning over these politicians through moral persuasion. The problem is that with rare exceptions, they have no morals. Even if a given politician started out with good intentions, the leadership of their party ensures they don't last long. Either the morals go or the politician does. After I left City Council undefeated in 4 elections to launch Workers' Strike Back, Seattle Democrats have dedicated themselves to trying to undermine or overturn our working class victories in Seattle. Workers' Strike Back has been able to defeat both their efforts so far. Last year, when they attacked our historic minimum wage victory, and just last week, when we forced them to back off on their attempt to attack renters' rights by first undermining the city's ethics laws. This showed once again that when we fight, we win. 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 Our fighting strategy.
That statement could not be even truer, man. Hey, gotta fight. You gotta fight. It ain't gonna be. It ain't gonna be. It ain't gonna be pretty. It ain't gonna be easy. But when you look back on what you fought for, and you say, "Damn, like I made people's lives materially better." You know, you get kind of, you know, you happy for them, but you happy for yourself in a way because it's like you didn't let your work go into vain. If you know what I'm saying, guys. But I'm gonna let it continue. Like, you know, I'm not sitting at the border with fake tears with the makeup is perfect. Like the ALC thing, the border thing, like even then I should have known, like that was not 2019, 18, 19 or something like that. Like I should have known like this that bitch was fake. But you know, but Kshama Sawant, you know, she don't do fake tears. She actually fight. You know, she formed Workers' Strike Back, which you know, like this is why people like Kshama Sawant should get platformed on more platforms. You know, like Rumper Clone, right? Like imagine if all of the left, the YouTubers, let's say, the big left independent media platform, somebody like Kshama Sawant, like how much attention she get. I think Kshama Sawant should get way more attention than she gets. She gets attention, but it's not nearly enough. Like the attention the squad got compared to Kshama Sawant. Like, come on, man. Like, and then you see what the squad has done. Like, ALC now fight the oligarchy tour. Like they ain't fighting no motherfucking oligarchy. When you in a party that loves the oligarchy, just like the red pill, do. Like the blue pill of it, the red pill of it. Like, come on, man. Like, oh, that's so great. And then you call a fake lefty because you don't support what Bernie ALC doing. By the same people that has a big platform that could platform this woman in her organization, but they don't do it. Oh God.
Is urgently needed nationally, including in the U.S. Congress. Progressive Democrats like AOC and Bernie Sanders have long since capitulated to the corporate and warmongering agenda of their party. Working people need elected representatives willing to use their positions to build mass movements in order to end the genocide and all U.S. military funding to the Israeli state, defeat the attacks on public funds for our basic needs, and win offensive demands like free healthcare for all, like by taxing the rich, or Medicare for all, and a $25 an hour minimum wage. This is why I launched Workers' Strike Back. This is also why I am running for Congress against Democrat Adam Smith. Just as I used my city council election campaigns to build momentum for the $15 minimum wage and the Amazon tax, I will use my congressional election campaign to help build the anti-war movement and to launch a historic fight for Medicare for all. And just as I did in my decade as a representative of working people in Seattle, if I'm elected to Congress, I will accept only the average worker's wage and donate the rest of my 6-figure salary to workers and social justice movements. Contrary to the shocking and systematic underreporting in mainstream media, estimates from the Lancet indicate the Gaza death toll was likely over 335,000 by September last year and has likely since surpassed 400,000. At least 100 Gazan children are being injured or killed daily since Israel resumed its genocidal offensive in March.
And speaking of that, I'm gonna show you guys. I'm gonna get back to this. I'm gonna get back to Kshama Sawant cooking. I'm gonna show you Adam Smith. How much money does Adam Smith get from AIPAC? Let's check right quick. You know, I need to start doing this too. Like, you can see him right here on your screen. Hold on, maybe let me pull it back. There you go, Adam Smith, right there. Seattle 9th District. That's what Kshama Sawant's running against. $500,000 from AIPAC. $500,000 from AIPAC. Oh shit. Yeah. Yeah, like, yeah, buddy. Yeah. Kshama Sawant doing the right thing. Shout out to her. Yeah. You gotta defeat that asshole. Like anybody that takes money from AIPAC, like all of the motherfuckers need to be primary. Like I'm just, taking money from a lobbying group that should be a foreign agent. Dwight Eisenhower, even though some of his policies I don't like, he was right about that part, right? Now let's get back to Kshama Sawant. I just had to just show y'all that for clarification reasons. Yeah, that's a problem. That's a major problem. And also too, I might find his donors to Kshama Sawant.
Gaza has been reduced to rubble. Neither the Democratic nor the Republican Party has a shred of moral credibility after having backed the Israeli state to the hilt. Both are fully responsible for what is in reality a new Holocaust. It would not have been possible without the billions of dollars they approved in funding from the US state. But we should not be surprised. Both Democrats and Republicans have been purveyors of endless brutal wars throughout their history. The Democrats and Republicans in the US Congress spent more than $14 trillion on war since 9/11. A third to one half of this money is pocketed by military contractors who in turn fund the campaigns of their favorite Democrats and Republicans. One such weapons industry treasure is my opponent in Washington's 9th Congressional District, Democrat Adam Smith.
All right, now I pull up Adam Smith's Open Secrets profile. Let's go to that. Then we'll get back to Kshama Sawant. I'm finna cook his ass. It's I searched up his shout out to AIPAC tracker. He get $500,000, almost $500,000 from AIPAC. From AIPAC. But let's see his other funding coming from. There you go, Adam Smith from Washington. He's a Democrat. Yeah. 2023 and 2024. From the pro-Israel lobby group, $335,000. AIPAC, 327. Okay. It don't include the other additives you get. Now his first election was in 1996. Then he got reelected because people don't have a backbone like Kshama Sawant and run against this guy. His time has been up. Like, my thing is with these politicians, especially in the House, they shouldn't be career politicians. I think if it's term limits on presidency, God damn it should be term limits on these motherfuckers, man, in the House, in the Senate. in the Supreme Court too as well. Um, um, let me see his contributors. Let me make this bigger because it's kind of small. This is his contributors. APAC is biggest contributor. Um, then General Atomics. Oh, looky here, man. Oh, why I'm not surprised. Palantir. Oh my God. Of course, like sound like Jake. Of course, yeah, like the same Palantir that wants to buy and do shit with our data, like fucking AI, bro. Yeah. This is I understand why people hate AI. I get it. Um, Palantir, General Atomics. Well, no surprise there. The military-industrial complex bought both have bought both. So I mean, most of these politicians have sold out to the military-industrial complex. That's why our military budget is heading towards $1 trillion. And, this is why I'm finna cook on Elon and Trump for a minute. Like I thought that Elon and Elon and them said they're gonna look into like the military budget, but they haven't even touched that. Now, if you're gonna go after race, waste, fraud, and abuse, I would go towards where the Pentagon can't pass audits at. Like they fail multiple audits. That's waste, fraud, and abuse, not a 75-year-old grandma in fucking Mississippi getting her Social Security check each month. Like no. Um, Microsoft. I mean, what else is new, right? He's in Washington, right? Um, um, and it basically breaks things down. Here, pro-Israel, um, military defense, aerospace, electronics, um, and so yeah. Shout out to Open Secrets, man. I like how it breaks everything down to a fucking T, man. Like, it's good, to um, it's good to like search up people, search up these politicians. When like people think corruption, like think of like, oh, it's just a couple of people, behind the scenes, with, dirty money. No, it's layers to the corruption. See, the point I'm trying to get across here, maybe I need to like stick to the point, is that like the problem is not the politicians. The politicians is on the string. Like the corporations are this ventriloquists, right? They're on the string. They tell them what to do. Like Microsoft probably want him to pass an antitrust law or some shit like that. Um, or some policy to screw over the consumer. Adam Smith is going to vote with Microsoft, right? He's not going to vote for the people. He votes for Microsoft. He votes for APAC. Like he's going to send money to Israel. He will continue to support Israel. Nah, he probably an idiot. He probably don't know where Israel is on the map or Palestine. Really, it's Palestine, but yeah, I get what I'm saying. But hey, APAC, hey, APAC is my biggest contributor. Hell, I can't come against Israel. In the military budget, yeah, we need to make it up to $1 trillion. Hey, and one thing about the military budget, it's a bipartisan thing. Yeah, I'm pretty sure Joe Biden or Kamala Harris, you know, would have won. I'm pretty sure the military budget would be $1 trillion too as well. So, anyway, let's get back to Kshama Sawant. She about to break down about her opponent. So, yeah, man, I just, it's good to like bring up where the money is coming from with these corrupt politicians that are really on the string. Ventriloquists, basically.
Who has held this office since 1997 and who has blood all over his hands. Just days ago, on May 24th, Israeli forces bombarded the Gaza home of Dr. Hamdi al-Najjar and his wife, Dr. Ala al-Najjar, both physicians at Nasser Medical Complex. At that time, pediatrician Dr. Ala al-Najjar was on duty at the hospital, delivering care to injured Palestinian babies and children. And at that time, 9 of the couple's 10 children were killed and their sole surviving child was seriously injured. Dr. Hamdi al-Najjar was also gravely injured and died on Saturday. The blood of the al-Najjar family, along with the other 400,000 Palestinians, is on Adam Smith's hands. No politician who has supported this genocide deserves one more working class vote. Every single one of them deserves to be thrown out of office, starting with Adam Smith. Smith has never met a war that he didn't like. He has fully backed the genocide in Gaza. He has demonized anti-genocide activists as extremists and left-wing fascists, called for them to be arrested, and likened their actions to the far-right attack on the U.S. Capitol. He holds the shameful distinction of being one of only 5 sitting Democratic Congress members who voted for the Iraq War in 2002. He supported the wars in Kosovo, Afghanistan, Iraq, Libya, Syria, Yemen, and the current bloody inter-imperialist proxy war in Ukraine.
Holy shit. Yeah, that damn Adam Smith is a damn genocidal maniac. You know, that's who he is, man. Like, again, like, yeah, it makes sense. Like, that makes sense why his money coming from. It makes sense. Like, that's why shout out to Savvy Sav, man. Savvy Sav is an amazing woman. Like, follow the fucking money. Like, you see why they move the way they do. It's the money. It's the money. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. Yeah, they'll probably say platitudes, you know, oh, we care about the people of Washington 9th Congressional District, you know, I care about them, man, I want them, but based on his voting record, you can, like, anybody with one brain cell could say, like, damn, this man really don't give a fuck about us, man, like, if people say that Democrats are worse than Republicans, man, they are on the same level, bro, they are the same. Just like I always tell people when I go on the shows and stuff, just one at least tells you, hey, we don't give a shit about you, and the other you know, they pretend with platitudes and stuff like that. So oh man,
for nearly 3 decades, Smith has been bankrolled by weapons industry profiteers such as Lockheed Martin, Boeing, General Dynamics, Raytheon, Northrop Grumman, Palantir, General Atomics, and Kymeta. In 2016, he was one of only 16 Democrats who voted against an amendment to block the transfer of cluster bombs, which are horrific weapons used for mass indiscriminate killing, to Saudi Arabia for use against the people of Yemen, something for which he has been handsomely rewarded by Textron, the leading manufacturer of cluster bombs. In 2021, as chair of the House Armed Services Committee, Smith proudly championed a grotesque $768 billion budget for the Pentagon, making it the largest military budget in U.S. history at the time, and $25 billion over even what President Biden was calling for. Far from being a foot soldier, Smith is a general among the war hawks. He has helped lead the financing of the ongoing genocide in Gaza as one of the most influential members still of the House Armed Services Committee. Smith is a darling of AIPAC and the Zionist lobby, the weapons industry, and the billionaire class. AIPAC was his biggest funder last year, and he has received nearly $500,000 from the Zionist lobby to date.
yep.
In the summer of 2014, I used my city council.
Man, Adam Smith is a fucking genocidal pig. He a pig. A genocidal pig. Fuck a maniac. I'm gonna go beyond. I'm gonna say pig.
Office not only to attend protests against Israel's indiscriminate bombardment on Gaza at the time, but also to draft a public letter calling for an end to all U.S. military aid for Israel, the illegal settlements in the Palestinian territories, and Israel's occupation of Palestinian lands. During that same time, Smith was enthusiastically backing Israel's Iron Dome system, a key component enabling the Israeli state's slaughter apparatus against the Palestinian people. I used the final days of my decade in City Hall in October and November of 2023 to win the second and the strongest city council resolution at the time, calling for a ceasefire in Gaza and an end to all military aid to Israel. At that moment, Smith was part of Biden's cabal that was monstrously insisting on over $100 billion in military funding for not just Israel, but also the inter-imperialist proxy war in Ukraine, instead of funding the needs of working people struggling with the severe cost of living crisis. Adam Smith stands out as one of the most thoroughly pro-corporate politicians out of all the Democrats in the U.S. Congress and Senate. He has shown long-standing and unwavering loyalty to Wall Street. He was part of the aggressively pro-corporate neoliberal offensive to the Democratic Party in the 1990s. The Democratic Party was never a party of the working class, but under Bill Clinton, the party began to more overtly and viciously attack the working class and the labor movement. During the George W. Bush presidency, Smith worked to push the Democratic Party further rightward. His advice to Democrats was to reduce the contrast of Democrats from Bush and the Republicans. He thought the Democratic Party should consider privatizing Medicare. Today, with Medicare for all
I remember that. Man, I remember that.
having widespread support, Smith sometimes claimed to support it. But this is straight out of the Democratic Party's playbook of...
See, that's a difference between saying it and actually like passing legislation, drafting legislation to pass it. I could say all day, I love you. I can love you all day. I can say, man, I love you, man. I love you, my sister. I love you, my brother. But if I keep fucking stabbing you in the back or not showing you that I love you, then it's useless. It's useless. Like, just like him saying, "Oh yeah, I support Medicare for all," but let's say if it was actually actually forced to vote worked. I doubt that he would pass it because he was in the House at the time. I doubt that he would vote yes for it. See, that's another point of forced to vote. The goal of it was to put people on that, what you calling it, on that pedestal. Like, hey, this person did not vote for Medicare for all. They should be primary, and put somebody in that support Medicare for all. Right. But yeah, I'm gonna end it right there. Watch it yourself. It's on their YouTube channel. Let me see, Worker Strike Back YouTube channel. Yeah, on strike. On strike. On YouTube. Go check it out, man. Watch the whole speech itself. Kshama Sawant's amazing. She does amazing work. She is amazing. Not only she got shit done. She just didn't tweet platitudes like ALC and the squad done. So and voted along with the Democratic establishment. But anyway, let me get to the tweet by the Worker Strike Back Twitter account. Share my screen here. Let me see. Right here. It says Worker Strike Back members have voted overwhelmingly to back Kshama Sawant's working class, anti-war, anti-genocide campaign for U.S. Congress. Help build the strongest anti-war genocide campaign in the country, and that's our link right there. I'm gonna click on it in a second. It says end the genocide in Gaza, no military aid, no occupation, free healthcare for all, tax the rich. We want rent control, make corporate landlords pay. Elect the socialist, money can't buy. Kshama Sawant for U.S. Congress. So yeah, this is a poster right here. I think it's a great move. My thing is that it's not like, a lot of people say experience. Well, apparently she has experience. City council is a big position in local politics, and she actually has done things. She got things done in Seattle. So yeah. So yeah. You can't say she don't have experience. She's a good oh God, I can't believe I'm doing this. She's a good articulator. She could talk good. Um, oh man, I'm sounding like somebody that just like don't know what they're talking about. But yeah, I know what I'm saying. Like, you know, she's not boring. That's what I'm saying. Like when she talk, like you definitely listen. Like some politicians probably in Congress, they don't know how to like engage with people, talk to people. Like you got to know how to do that. Um, but I'm finna go on her website. Give me a sec, guys. Again, I know y'all saying, I'm not telling people to donate. But I mean, like, I'm just gonna keep it 100 with you. Um, if you have some money to give, I think this is worth it, man. Like, I wish I wish I could tell that damn Bernie Sanders to give my money back that he took from me. Just to just to be a Democratic simpleton and give it to Shovel some what. So that's the website right there. You know, I'm definitely gonna donate. This is her website. I'm gonna go on her policy platform next time. I ain't got time to do that now, so I'm gonna put the link to Kshama Sawant's website in the description box below. So be sure to be on the lookout for that. So yeah, man, I love it. I definitely I love what she doing. Something, hey, you know, you gotta try. You know, you might not succeed the first time, but you never know. You might succeed the second, third time. You know. So, all right, guys, let me get to the next story. All right, guys. So here, um, I don't know why I'm even talking about this. I'm gonna talk about the aura of it in a minute, but it says Trump booed and cheered at the Kennedy Center. It says as President Trump and First Lady Melania took their seats at the Kennedy Center Opera House on June 11th for the opening night of Les Miserables, a mix of cheers and boos erupted from the crowd. Um, like, hold on, like, I'm gonna make this bigger. Um, this shit look like some kind of like, I don't know, like, kind of give me like some kind of like Hitler like era vibes. Like, if you look at the pictures from Nazi Germany, like you see like Hitler sitting on top and like people surrounded him like that. It don't look like a regular. I guess this is like some kind of like opera shit because I'm not into that. But yeah. I'm gonna just play it for a second. Bruh, like I swear to y'all, man. Man, this shit just give me like some kind of like Nazi, like not Nazi, dictatorial like type of fucking vibes, dog. I don't know, man. Like everybody surrounding him, like like sometimes you might think Trump might do the Sig Heels type shit. So I don't know, man. But yeah, I just had to show y'all that. Like I don't know, the aura of that just feels so kind of off to me. I don't know why. Maybe I'm over exaggerating, but it is what it is. So let me get to the next story. All right, guys. So the next thing I want to talk about is this conversation. I've seen the whole thing on Patreon because I'm subscribed to Bad Faith Show on Patreon. It's worth the money, by the way. So anyway, can the left unite? I mean, like, you got Brother Joy Gray and Franny Francesca Fiorentini. Two different personalities. One, I guess you could say Bree is what far to the left. I guess she's on my, even though if we judging by the scale, I guess she's way more far to the left. I guess Bree is post duopoly, and you got Francesca who's on the left, but she's more like want to work into the system a little bit. Get to like the corporate dummies out. Place them with more progressive. That ilk. That's why I consider Francesca. You know, I like Francesca a lot. I like her a lot. Even though I don't agree with everything she says. Like, I mean, who don't agree with? I mean, everybody don't agree with everything. People do. Pretty sure people don't agree with what I agree with, and that's fine. But at least I get that she's not bullshit. You see what I'm saying? So I mean, this is very interesting. I'm gonna play it. I'm not gonna play the whole thing, but um, and give my thoughts on it. So
Like, I'm like, how many fucking times do we have to see the DNC do the wrong thing? Obviously I'm going back to like not choosing Jesse Jackson, all like you don't want to win. And all of the shit about like people of color and this and that and
she's right. She's right though. Like, no, they never wanted to win. Like, you know, like it brings me back to what Hakeem Jeffrey said. Like, Hakeem Jeffrey don't want to win. Like all the Democratic establishment wants to do is they just wants to raise money. Like they don't want to actually get shit done. They just want to raise money off of it. They want to campaign off of it, bro. They if they win, hey, it's an added bonus. Hey, our added bonus is hey, we give a few crumbs out here and there, but like they don't want to fight. Like this is why you got people like me and Bree and Sabby and RBN like saying like, hey, like we need to be surprised the Democratic, like playbook pushing people to the left or try to push Democrats to the left. Um, but yeah, I'm gonna let her continue. Like that's true.
no, all of it's bullshit. It's bullshit. And so yeah, so that's where I'm at, is like a little bit jury's still out. And I don't support I've been openly critical of Jill Stein. I'm not a big Jill Stein person. I really think that third party candidacies need to be either long-term projects from the ground up, or again, if someone with import and a lot of following made a break, this is the time, in my opinion. But I don't know, where are you at?
That part right there. Yeah, like this is when like I'm gonna bring up names like the Cal Kalinskis, Sam Cedars, like people with a big following. They get millions of views each week. Like she said, like, hey, you ain't gotta support the Green Party per se. But my thing is maybe try something different. Like, how about putting on Jill Stein or put on the Green Party officials, or if somebody running the Green Party in locally or even on the federal level, how about platform them? Like instead of just platforming like Democrats that just want to fucking people that running through the Democratic Party but they won't change. Like, come on, man. At this point, if you still doing that, like, you should know that running through the Democratic Party, like, even Kshama once said on many of occasions, like, running through the Democratic Party is a road to the dead end. Like, it's not gonna lead you nowhere. Like, even somebody like Francesca, who's on the reform level of the left, even she's saying like, hey, like, I'm so getting tired of this, not these people not fighting. Maybe, yeah, maybe I'm considering third parties. And I had a few criticisms of Jill Stein myself. Like, Jill Stein, she, I mean, no candidate's perfect. Like, but at least I would say this in terms of Jill Stein. At least she was the things that us leftists want. She was anti-war, anti-Israel, um, pro-worker, stuff like that. Like if those things, man, and she's consistent. See, consistency matters to me. Like, same with Kshama Sawant. That's why I say Kshama Sawant has a greater chance of winning because she's consistent and she has the resume. Like, a lot of people say, "Oh, you need to pay me. You need to prove yourself." Like, it's right there. Like, Kshama Sawant, she gave you her resume and she announced she was running for Congress. So yeah. If you still involved in electoralism on the federal level, which I think you should prioritize local politics, but could maybe consider a third party, like I'm just saying, like, yeah, but I'm gonna let it continue.
So I really appreciate you laying it out as a trajectory. I sometimes feel, I mean, obviously I've been doing this podcast for almost 5 years now, and I sometimes talk to people like, "Oh, you've listened to every episode." So you know that this has been like a trajectory, right? So like, I didn't come to these positions easily. So, sort of give me grace and respect that I'm not just some knee-jerk person who woke up one day and just was like, "I hate AOC." I started my job at The Intercept in 2018, like weeks before AOC won the primary, and was sent by Ryan Grimm to go and cover it. I told this story before, but to cover it in some like empty big old pool hall in the Bronx that was empty until she won because nobody thought she was going to win. And then moments later, seemingly, was filled to the brim. And then there was Cynthia Nixon ordering a beer over my shoulder. Not literally, but you know what I mean? Like, and it was so exciting. And I was there as a journalist, but obviously I shared her politics. And it was this amazing moment where I felt like I was starting a new career after leaving the law, and she was obviously taking the world by storm. And, the idea that that my kind of lack of faith in electoralism and in various figures in that movement was created by anything other than them working hard to lose my faith. And when I was giving them, I had every desire to want to believe it happened. As someone who literally was the national press secretary for Bernie Sanders, sort of being framed as someone who has a knee-jerk kind of hater approach to electoral politics, it wasn't that at all. I put a good faith effort into trying it that way, covering that movement as a reporter, joining it as the 2020 press secretary, and observing, to your point, Fran, I think is a really good one, observing what sort of leverage movement groups can get within a Democratic trifecta. They were told you're going to get a seat at the table. They got they flipped from giving, Sunrise, for instance, flipped from giving Biden like a F report card mark to going ahead and.
Yeah, and I thought, Sunrise movement was like one of the first like movements like I kind of got into. I said, yeah, I kind of like what they doing. Like, they're fighting. I thought they were fighting, but a lot of these movements, man, that's what I'm saying. Like working, co-opting with the Democratic Party, man. Like yeah, that what it gets you. Like, hey, like the Sunrise movement was, remember AOC and the Sunrise movement was sitting protesting for the Nancy Pelosi's office or some shit like that. Ain't gonna lie to y'all, man. Like I told Willie Bragg this on his show the other day. I said, man, when AOC did that, man, that was like holy shit moment for me. You know what I mean? Like, wow, like maybe she's legitimately trying to fight. But like later on, you learn that, hey, like she been co-opted to say, hey, you gotta follow the party line, And now she's saying, hey, the Sunrise movement basically did the same thing. Like how you went for giving Joe Biden that elf, which he deserves. Joe Biden, Joe Biden is horrible. Joe Biden in a lot of ways is worse than Donald Trump. Let's just keep it 100. Trump is just a talking head. He just like to talk. Joe Biden, like his record speaks for itself, like so it deserves an elf. How you change the grade of that? Without some kind of like behind the scenes shit, like some kind of schemes behind the scenes. But I'm gonna let him continue.
Endorsing, and I didn't like it at the time, but let's see what happens. Let's see what they get out of it. And if nothing else, the Biden term in the first 2 years in particular were the sort of nail in the coffin for me. That proved that Democrats were unwilling to do anything with power when they had it, and that they were constitutionally committed committed because of their donors, committed because of the structure of the party.
Yep.
To acting against the interests of working people and the people in the movement that I had joined.
Right.
And that as tough it was going to be to build up a third party, that was more likely to be successful than changing the Democratic Party. And Gaza just further, like, you know.
But you know what? I'm gonna say this. Like, she's right. Like, yeah. Even when they get power, the Democratic Party don't really give a fuck. But you know, that's true. But yeah, I think once you realize that, somebody said this too. I think Willie Bragg again. He's right. Like, the Democratic Party are so feckless that they'd rather have Liz Cheney running as a Democrat than Bernie Sanders. And Bernie Sanders would just do the same thing that the squad do. Like, I mean, yeah, he probably signed a few performative executive orders. I mean, let's just keep it 100. If Bernie Sanders was president, man, like, it would be a disappointment. I ain't gonna lie to you, man. Like as soon as he signed an executive order, it's gonna get struck down immediately. Like, y'all think they striking down Trump shit, but Trump, he don't really give a fuck. He still continue to do what he doing. But Bernie Sanders, he's a cook, and I'm pretty sure he said, "Well, we gotta fight it through the courts," you would have a greater chance in my eyes. Like, even if it's 2% compared to 0%, you'll have a greater chance of building a new party rather than trying to fight through the Democratic Party. And then this is what us leftists, far leftists, are trying to, like, capitulate here. Like, you have doing something different. It's gonna take time. I get it. A lot of people say, "Hey, the Democratic Party, you have more media access." But if you to the left of them, they don't give a fuck about you. They'll smear you. So why are you running on a side or party side? They'll smear you. That don't make any sense. At least if you start your own new party from the ground up. Same with Kshama Sawant. And if it becomes successful, you'll say to yourself, like, wow, man, like, holy shit, like, I possibly changed a lot of people's lives. So yeah, basically Bree saying, yeah, reforming doesn't work.
Put so many nails in the coffin that looked like, it's made of metal.
And I think it's like, that really sealed the deal. And I think it also sealed the deal on, like, wanting to win. I mean, it's really gross to make sort of like the strategic political argument around Gaza, because it is just a moral gaping wound for any party that claims to believe in human rights. But really, you're going to lose. This is massive. It's not just people on the left. It's not just students who believe there's a genocide happening, right? We see it. It's impacting people who do not follow politics, don't really care, don't know, maybe even voted for Trump, and are like, this is awful. It's like the lane is there. And again, coming from the anti-war movement, circa 2003, the lane's always been there. And so it's very upsetting when even someone like Marjorie Greene takes up this, in my opinion, bad faith and bullshit mantle of isolationism, because, it's like, oh, let's redirect militarism to immigrants here and the border. But, like, the anti-war lane has always been there, and Bernie came the closest to really putting it on a national stage. But since then, Democrats have not only walked away from the anti-war mantle, but
you know what, though? This is how people like Marjorie Taylor Greene get notarized. See, Marjorie Taylor Greene could read. I wish I could say this on Willie Bragg's show better. I did. When I was on there, when we got to that point, I really didn't explain myself good, because of my autism or whatnot. But anyway, the problem with Marjorie Taylor Greene is, what Marjorie Taylor Greene got right. I hate giving her credit, but she know how to read the room, bro. Like, she know what her base likes and what her base don't like. They don't like, maybe some people her base don't like, oh God, maybe her base like xenophobia, transphobia, shit like that, which is homophobia, which is disgusting, right? I get that, but things like war, like, they hate war. You know what I mean? Maybe they family got traumatized from the war or whatnot. So of course she gonna spend it like, yeah, I'm a Republican, but you know I'm against war. You know I don't like war. You know I'm against it. Like she know how to read a room, but we know it's performative. Like she don't actually mean what she says. So I get what Francesca is saying. I get it. So yeah, yeah, like yeah, like see what Francesca doing. Like what she said is, hey, I've been in the anti-war movement since 2003. Like I'm legit compared to Marjorie Taylor Greene who says it but don't really mean it. So all right,
even they're so rudderless right now, Brie, like they can't even remember like why Obama was good in the small ways he was good. You know, it's like, yeah.
Yeah.
Multiracial democracy, building a better future. Can you just say that line? Are we so far out of the Obama years? And I guess we are. And also so stupid. And I think, you know, when you see someone like Senator Ruben Gallego going and fundraising with Mark Andreessen, you're like, oh no, we're fucking cooked, yo. Like they want their money. They see the oligarchies throwing down with MAGA, and yet they're like, well, maybe the oligarchy will like me too. And it's not only a way to, you're losing both. You're losing the base, and you're gonna lose the oligarchy ultimately when push comes to shove.
You know what you're making me think of is how Democrats love to say things like, you know, Donald Trump could shoot someone in the middle of Fifth Avenue and they have no morals and they have no consistency, they have no scruples. And I don't disagree. You know, they'll say things like, you know, they do deficit hawkery until it comes to war budgets, which we're
Right.
obviously seeing now with the big, beautiful bill. And all of that is true. I think what Democrats have missed for a long time is that they are also seen as similarly inconsistent and bad faith. And when you have someone like Obama and Bernie, I think they share this quality. Someone who comes along, in Obama's
yep,
case, I think it was because he had a short political record. So you didn't have the sort of flip-flopping that you see with so many other candidates. And he came out saying these things that felt really ideologically strident. His identity made you want to believe that he was telling the truth. He had these fun bona fides, like that famous picture that goes around now of him sitting at a dinner table with like Edward Said and like, you know, people,
right, yeah.
you know, he was like a real one, right? Like he was in the schools and taking the woke classes and like he really understood the stuff. He was a university professor and, you know, constitutional law professor and all of these things. He really got it. And Bernie on the flip side had our faith, had maybe still in parts has our faith, because he had a 40-year career of ideological consistency and taking positions even when they were hard. But regardless, you felt like there was an internal cohesion to what they believed that had moral underpinning. And that was something, unlike what you see so much in establishment politics. And that what Democrats are missing now, it's not just like, it polls badly to like run to the right on immigration, because if you really want conservative immigration policy, you just vote Republican anyway. Or it polls, you know, it's not smart strategy. I think it also is doing something corrosive to people's public trust in the institution and in the Democratic Party, that it might be permanent.
Oh yeah.
And that's the part. Well, people are fleeing the ship like rats. I don't know that they're quite grasping and contending with. It's the same with this Joe Rogan of the left stuff, not understanding the thread of authenticity that's running through those kinds of programs, whatever you feel of the substantive politics.
exactly. I agree. I agree with that part right there. Um, yeah, I think that as well. Cause yeah, again, like I would say, like yeah, at least you know, I don't like Bernie anymore, but at least Bernie stayed on the consistent basis of his same shit. Oh, workers need a better life. This and that, Medicare, Medicare for all. Um, like yeah, this Joe Rogan of the left shit, man. When I first heard that too as well, I'm like, give me a break. Like y'all just gonna just prop up some pod. Like we know Joe Rogan, he's inconsistent too. I'm not saying he's right and shit either. Like I remember Joe Rogan supported Bernie Sanders. Like you remember that? Oh, the tables have turned, huh? So yeah, like a Joe Rogan on the left, like what that's gonna do? Like I mean, like you complicit in a genocide, Democrats, like Israel's genocide campaign ramped up under your administration, under a Democratic administration. So yeah, you can have all the Joe Rogans of the left you want. You can have influencers you want, the Harry Sessons and all these other people. But at the end of the day, man, like they said, resume matters. Like people know you full of shit. That's what I'm saying. Oh man. Anyway.
Right.
But when you were like, let's pack up the homeless people actually in your Gavin Newsom, or if you're like so easily willing to throw trans people under the bus after, 5 years ago, someone just drug this back up. 5 years ago, we were in such a different cultural place that McDonald's was doing ads about like Black trans women and how they needed respect. Like McDonald's.
Yeah.
like if you have those kinds of wild swings, and then you want to be the party, unlike the Republicans, the Democratic Party postures itself as like, we care about you, actually. You don't get to be the we care about you, actually. We have the soul of the nation, actually, party. When you have a demonstrated ability to go from basically shaming everybody over not being where you are with respect to something like trans issues to being like, F them trans folks anyway. And during Pride Month.
Yeah. Well, and this is, I think, maybe where we might disagree. And it's a point that I think is an interesting one because, I say what I'm saying now. And if and when Democrats are running Pete Buttigieg, I'm going to support, like, I will vote for Pete Buttigieg. And I'll tell the people who watch my show to do that. However, because I think it's a defensive mechanism for me. Like, to me, general elections, again.
Well, I'm going to push back on this a little bit. She's saying she'll vote for Pete Buttigieg as a defensive mechanism. She's going to get more into why she used that strategy. But my counterpoint for that is, instead of voting for Pete Buttigieg, how about protesting your vote? If because we know 2028 it's gonna be the same spiel of 2024, two corporate candidates, or voting third party. Like, I think that will be a better strategy to tell my audience, But hey, it is what it is, But she finna give a reason why.
Again, it's like flossing and paying taxes. Nobody wants to do it. You got to do it. It's like and you don't think about it. Just flick the shit in your teeth away. Do it. And that's not.
But bro, like, that kind of bring me like to that point, like, kind of like bring me like one time one of my aunts told me like, hey, with Kamala Harris last year, I forgot to tell y'all this. Like, she told me, hey, I know Kamala did some kind of flaky shit, but but she's better than Trump. She at least she's not corrupt like Trump. I'm like, bro, you clearly don't know her record. Like, you clearly don't know her record. Like, you basically telling me, as people have been saying for years, the lesser of the two evils. So you said Kamala Harris is the lesser of the two evils? Nah, bro. I had to debunk that quickly. Like, that's what I kind of get from this strategy here, but I'm gonna let her continue.
You can't win on Francesca's telling her podcast audience that they should do this defensively, because that's what I did with Kamala Harris. And it's on the candidate to actually make their platform appealing and actually authentic and believable. And as you said, ideologically strident. So, but I do feel like, because the brand is like, hey, it's like, whatever it is, it's like the Lockheed Martin with like a rainbow flag. It's like, I understand that is in practice the same, but when it comes to pressure, the door is open. It's like the person, again, like these representatives who maybe aren't good on Palestine, but they're good on immigration. There's a window there. There's a way to say, hey, can we be morally consistent and stop sending weapons to Israel? That is way more space to operate in than.
So what she's saying is, by you doing her strategy, is that I'm holding my nose and voting for them. Like, I know they are bad, but they are better at some policies than the others. My response to that is that it's like putting lipstick on a pig. Like, you know, maybe the lipstick will make the pig look better, but he's still a pig, bro. Oh man, like I totally disagree with this, but you know, at least she explained why she chose why she, you know, doing that strategy. But you know, hey, you know, I like Francesca. I think she can like, you know, change. I think, you know, hey, I think she could change. Like, hey, you know, the strategy I said about the defensive mechanism, nah, fuck that. Like, um, you know, like, you know, it ain't gonna work. You know, hey, people can change, you know, but as of right now, yeah, I totally, definitely disagree with this. But let it continue.
Someone who's like, nah, lock every immigrant up and also nuke Palestine. Like, so that's why, you know, I've always felt that it's pressure. It's what gives movements more space. You got to remember when Occupy popped off. Occupy popped off in the middle of an Obama administration. And it was even on the precipice of re-election. And you know, I remember the reporters would go down there and they'd be like, hey, what do you think about Obama? And they were just like, eye rolls, whatever. Like, we're on some next shit. We're doing this. And I think we saw the ways that when a movement pops off during a Republican administration, i.e. BLM popping off during Trump, oh, tanks are going to get called out. People are going to be disappeared off the streets. People are going to be extrajudicially killed, you know, and not have any due process. That's the difference. And so that's what helped Biden win. Of course, he threw the entire movement that helped him win under the bus. But like, I think that very stark difference, and we're seeing it now, right? The criminalization of Palestine protesters. It was there under Biden. I'm not saying it wasn't, but it is on a different level under Trump. So that's why I make that utilitarian argument without preciousness, right? I don't feel like I've lost a part of my soul because I've voted defensively. I say I do this.
Yeah, that's why I like Francesca. That see, some people are just blue pilled to the point where, hey, I'm gonna vote blue no matter who. I don't give a fuck. Even though I might have a little progressivism sprinkled in there. Yeah, people should have health care and all that stuff. But Francesca, I really do believe that, you know, yeah, this party is toxic. They're pro-genocide. They this, they that. But I still kind of like got a glimpse that maybe, you know, hey, the immigrant, you know, like she said, the immigrants, you know, kicking all immigrants out is, you know, maybe they anti that, but maybe we could kind of convince them that, yeah, dropping 2,000-pound bombs on innocent Palestinian women and children is horrific. Like, but like I said again, like I just don't think that strategy is good, man. I just don't think so. But I like the team.
It's part of a broader project. It's part of a broader movement. I'm not even gonna think about it.
Well, I certainly am not here to make judgments about anybody's soul, and you're certainly not alone in coming to the decision that you came to, Francesca. But let me offer a sort of a counter narrative to the kind of the historical points that you just pointed to. The Occupy movement during Obama administration, there's an argument that if it weren't about an Obama administration and the nationwide destruction that the financial collapse had wrought, there's an argument that it would have been orders of magnitude bigger among those same sort of liberal folks and Occupy, lefty folks in Occupy and liberal bastions like New York City and stuff, had there been a Republican target. You know, it's Bush's fault, but he's gone now, and you know, and that in fact the like dismissiveness with which the media, including the liberal media, covered the Occupy movement. Oh, they don't have a message. They're just these silly kids. They're doing stacks, blah, blah, blah. Look at their silly little libraries they're running. Was in part because discontent under a liberal president looks bad for liberals. Protesting, not having any criminal liability for anybody, sending nobody to jail, bailing out the banks looks bad for liberals. And that's quote unquote our team. I think your assessment of Black Lives Matter, I saw you recently did a 5-year anniversary Black Lives episode, and I really commend you for not forgetting about this and for reminding folks that this, yes, was the biggest protest movement in American history. But I would argue that while you're correct that there were tanks and stuff and repression under Trump, there was also positive coverage from liberal media for this movement because it was seen as antagonistic to the current administration. And when Biden became the nominee,
exactly. Like, imagine if Black Lives Matter continued, the Black Lives Matter protests continued under Biden. The liberal media would stop covering it because, hey, they'll see it as like, hey, hey, like we're not as interested, because Joe Biden is in there. It's not antagonistic to our, the liberal media. It's not antagonistic to our point of view. See, Fox News will still cover it because they'll say like, oh, Biden is Biden is for Fox News is pro cop. I'm just saying like, hypothetically, like, oh, Biden, they protesting against Biden, y'all know what I'm saying, like, yeah, I kind of get what they're saying. That's a good point.
and started running from his basement. He ran on a fund the police harder strategy, and immediately the liberal coverage flipped because it felt as though, and at some points I think was made explicit, that this movement was going to hurt Joe Biden if he looked like he was soft on crime, and we were going to get Donald Trump. So we had to choose between the...
Yeah. And that's why, too, one thing that I kind of zoinked the George Floyd protest is when Biden got in there, the Democratic Party did a job of toning it down, They toned it down, See, it started with the Kente Cloth shit too, which a lot of people knew that was performative BS as well. That on top of, we supported the protest because, it like she said, antagonistic to Trump, but the Democratic Party does, like, the ratchet effect, Of course, they ain't gonna defund the police, but the Republicans, saying like, oh yeah, we pro cop. The liberals, they love, they want to defund the police. That's why Joe Biden came out. I ain't gonna defund the police. I'm gonna fund the police. He said that on multiple occasions, and I'm like, bro, like, why y'all let the demo dummies infiltrate the movement? Oh my God, man. And this is what I give the pro-Palestine protests credit for too. Even though Trump cosplays as an anti-war president, we're about to be in World War III. I don't think he gonna be no more wars president no more. But like, it didn't stop. It kept going and going. It's still going to this day. So yeah, like, yeah. This always go back to the word consistency. Like, that's what, So.
The political successes of a corporate party and the moral outrage about a man being killed to death on camera, which of course is emblematic of a broader criminal justice crisis. And similarly, you can see this with a lot of stats. I bring up this one about fracking often, that there was a 20-point swing in favor of fracking during the summer of 2020 because Biden started talking about how we needed to support fracking to win Pennsylvania and thus defeat Trump. And we saw, even in the context of Palestine, how there is a willingness now, for a number of reasons, I don't want to attribute it all to electoral politics, to acknowledge that it's a genocide, that these things are bad, etc. It's like beneath the two of us, given what we do and what our platforms are, to even be conceding to the idea of Pete Buttigieg 2028.
Agreed.
This is what happens every year.
Yes.
We sit around the left. My experience is, I tried this in 2022. I tried to get a panel of disparate leftists in to talk about who our candidate was going to be. Who should we run? What should their strategy be? Should we run someone on the Democratic ticket? Should they threaten a dirty break? Should they secretly want to do a dirty break so they weren't so pilloried by the Democratic Party? Who would be the best? And there was so much infighting over like who this person could be and that we couldn't even get a conversation off the ground. Is it going to be the third party? Is it going to be the Green Party? Is it going to be the PSL? And then, of course, there was all of this, to get back to your point about the Green Party. To be clear, Jill Stein did not want to run again. Cornel West was the Green Party nominee. For reasons that he's talked about and that Jill Stein has talked about at length on this podcast that people can come to their own conclusions about, he decided to leave the ticket and leave the Green Party high and dry. such that they needed to run a candidate to maintain the ballot access that they've worked hard and been more successful at than any other left third party in the country. And they needed to run a candidate to maintain that. And Jill Stein stepped up to the plate. Okay.
Yeah.
That being said, if we don't like that scenario, and I think Jill Stein would be the first in line to say, I would prefer not to be the one either, then we have to be talking about supporting the Green Party or whatever, PSO, whatever it is, but supporting a third party now and getting the kind of engagement by the left that's watching all of these shows into a third party movement and developing candidates. I don't know, Matthew Ho, I don't know who it's going to be.
Yeah.
But instead of doing this like kind of preemptive, well, it's not going to work and it's going to take time and it's going to
Totally.
Oh yeah, 100%. I agree. Yeah, I fast forwarded a little bit, guys, towards the end. Agreed, 100%. Like, I think we're wasting time in my eyes. I think, to me, I'm gonna say this. I keep saying this again and again. I think, the broader thing should be, building dual power and mutual aid. I think that should be top of the priority on the list. I think once that's the top priority, then the electoral shit, running third party or whatnot should be second. But I think a lot of us waste time. Not me in particular, and not Bree. A few other people. I'm just, it's about them. You waste time saying, hey, the reason why third parties won't work because, the system is rigged against them and all that, and Democrats, you have a better chance of trying to reform the Democratic Party. I think once a lot of leftist commentators, I hate to really call them left, get past that shit and realize, like, damn, like, you're totally thinking, I think a lot of people at this point realize, hey, this party, this Democratic Party is not going to change. I think they surpassed that. I think now, to their credit, some of them have evolved, but still a lot of them. I'm talking the people with the bigger platforms. I ain't talking about people like, my size or nothing like that. So yeah. Like Ron McCone said before, it's a missed opportunity. I think if starting 2020. If all of these major leftist commentators start doing the pivot towards another party, I think we'll be in a better place now. And I think all this infighting wouldn't be happening. I think they brought up infighting a little bit. Yeah, some leftists say I'm going to support Joe Biden and try to push him left, and others say, hey, I'm done with the duopoly. I'm going to, support third parties. I'm going to start doing mutual aid. And also too, I got something for these bigger, YouTubers. I'm talking the ones with millions of subscribers. Like, y'all should be the ones really platforming people that are doing mutual aid, like Afeni and Rome. Like, have them on your channels. Instead of talking about what the fuck Trump said to Elon on fucking Air Force One, talk about what Afeni does. Like, put Afeni more out there. Like, put Rome more out there. Like. But they won't do it because it's not. I think it's not click driven. See, talking about the Democratic Party is more click driven than having a Feeney on to talk about mutual aid and having Rome on to talk about what he's doing, the stuff he's doing, promoting his campaign for mutual aid, tour for the poor. Like, it's more, it's not as sexy as they say. It's not a sexy topic. You know what I mean? So yeah. Let me get back to this a little bit more.
Because
at the end of the day, we're not. I agree with you because, like I'm saying, your podcast is big. I respect your platform and your voice, but at the end of the day, it's not even going to be about what we decide or whether we decide to vote defensively or not. And I totally agree with you. It's beneath us. I am curious, yes, about if there is a time to support a third party. It is so now. It is so now before the conversation around Buttigieg even begins and how gross that's going to be. And I am, which is also why I know we might differ on how we think about AOC, but I think it's also AOC's move right now. And I think she's also someone who the Democratic establishment in part because of how she's played it and slash how she maybe is part of it, depending on how you feel about it, could win the nomination, right?
For president, you mean?
For president, yeah.
Let's talk about her for a second. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, please. Yeah, I've only begun to think about these things, so yes.
So the AOC is sort of scuttlebutt right now, and the latest sort of like test as to whether or not she's the real deal or sort of a sellout is this Zohran Mamdani endorsement. Mm-hmm. And there was a recent poll this past week that showed that he closed the gap significantly with Cuomo. He's in second place. The establishment is melting down very predictably. But given, especially now that he's in second place, and the fact that Cuomo is a serial sexual harasser and murderer of old people in New York, it seems
he's
like
Italian,
really...
Brie. Oh my God, my people! How dare you?
No offense intended. No offense intended. Hey YouTube, thanks for watching.
All right, it end right there. So yeah. I'm gonna say this about AOC. AOC had the moment to be different, but given what she has done since she got into Congress, nah. AOC is gonna be like Marjorie Taylor Greene. Like, she's gonna cosplay as an outsider, but really, when you're in a political party that has oligarchy infiltration, yeah, you're gonna go by the party line. Like, if AOC ran for president and won, my thing is she'll say the right things, but don't expect her to do nothing. The oligarchy is still gonna reign. Like, I don't think oligarchy is not going to support her, but I'm saying, you gotta. Like, AOC is not going to change the system, bro. The Democratic Party is not going to change the system. You have to, dismantle the system and build a new one for the ground up, a more social communist type system. Make it worker centered, because, it's going to be the people that's going to actually have to change the system. It's not going to be one person. Like, at one point, I was so ignorant to thought, hey, Bernie Sanders, he could change the system. Like, yeah, that's why it's called growing up and learning new shit. So yeah, man, good conversation between Francesca and Bree. I think they're both in good faith. I don't get, for Francesca especially, I don't get, like you get from the other PFC people, the grifting, clout chasing aspect. So, all right, guys, on to the next story. All right, guys, so the next story I got is about Karine Jean-Pierre. Yeah, she's in news because, like all these people do that work in these former administrations, they really kind of like doing the grifting strategy. Basically, hey, I'm in here, cosplayers liking you, and then once you lose or you're disbarred, the leader of the administration, then hey, I'm gonna write a book about you, and I want to say I'm this, I'm that. Oh boy, this is from USA Today. This is an opinion. It says former Biden press secretary really to tell Americans the truth. Give me a break. So it's from Nicole Russell. This video, I'm pretty sure it's let me see. I don't know why it's not playing. Hold on. Give me a sec, guys. Give me a second. Let me refresh my screen. Let me see. So yeah, while I'm pulling this up, man, while I'm pulling up the video, a little video in the article, like, be sure to give us a like, man. I'm telling y'all, man, it goes a long way. Man, I'm out here, doing the work, putting in the work and stuff like that. So yeah, yeah, it's nothing but a slideshow. But I'm gonna play it anyway. Why not? Hell, why the fuck not? So, share my screen again. Uh, so yeah, here we go.
What I have decided to do, and I really have thought long and hard about this, is
And one thing that really gets me though, about people that say they're not independent, like people use the term independent too loosely. I have to like frame it like this. Okay, she says she's an independent. Are you still on the neoliberal centrist side, or are you just shifting your ideology to the Republican? I don't think she's shifting to the Republican Party, but I will say that, like, if she be on shows and stuff, I'm pretty sure she's still going to speak like a Democrat. So, but anyway, get back to this.
to follow my own compass. And that's what I've done. And that's what this book does.
I am obviously acutely aware that my presence at this podium represents a few firsts. I am a Black, gay, immigrant woman, the first of all three of those to hold this position. I would not be here today.
Oh, jeez. Yay. A Black, gay, immigrant, and a woman. Yay. Like, yay. Supposed to give you a round of applause. Like, but you serving an administration you serving a war criminal and also a dude that started a genocide. So, yeah. But now you're independent, so I guess that frees you of all of his baggage, right? Nah.
Today if it were not for generations of barrier breaking people before me. I stand on their shoulders.
So yeah, man, that's the
Hyundai Kona versus Toyota Corolla Cross. Look what.
So yeah, that ends the video right there. Let me read this. It says the Democratic Party continues to self-destruct, and I'm here for it. Yeah. It says former House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre has teased a tell-all memoir about the former President Joe Biden and the administration she served for nearly 3 years. Independent, a look inside a broken White House. Outside the party lines, is stoking claims that Jean-Pierre is a grifter, profiting off her time in the administration by trashing the former president and the political party that gave her performance. I mean, that's a dull position. Definitely a dull position. Um, um, it said knives are out among Democrats for one of their own has now betrayed them. Like other books that have risen exposed about Biden poor health, Jean-Pierre raises a question about the White House cover-up that attempted to hide the president's mental and physical decline from voters. And yeah, basically now, yeah, I could say she's a grifter. So yeah, they knew that Joe Biden wasn't mentally, physically able to really run this term, his first term. And he damn sure wasn't mentally and physically capable of running the second term. Like they knew it, but they call people like us, bullshit artists, basically paraphrasing, for like the videos of him wandering around, not knowing where he is, we can't see that for ourselves. No, we just making that shit up. Like, yeah, and didn't some of them say it's AI or something too? I think I remember somebody said it was AI that Biden was those videos. Like, No, it's not AI. You can't blame everything on AI. Yeah, AI is an issue problem, but no. Um, Let me continue. Um, it also calls into question Jean-Pierre's honesty. Why did she wait until now, when she can profit from it, to tell the truth about the former commander-in-chief? He said Democrats are now a minority party in America. The GSP control the White House, Senate controls. Yeah. Uh, I'm skipped it. It said the Democratic Party had lost Americans' trust because of his leaders' purchase and gaslighting. Not about not about Biden's health, but also on issues like immigration, border security, and economy. Now I can tell this person that wrote this is a conservative, but yeah, also too you forgot to mention the war in Gaza too. Um, Immigration is more of a distraction to me because even a lot of my black people are just some of them have lost their damn minds, man. Like, oh, let's not care about the immigrants because they wouldn't march for us. Man, I'm pretty sure it was a lot of migrants out there marching along with us. Legal immigrants. And illegal too. Who cares? And who cares about them being legals? Like, open the borders up, man. I'm all for open borders. Like, let them all in, man. I don't care, bro. Like, oh man, see the State Department, see this system loves for people to be distracted. Instead of people focusing on how we should get free healthcare, but let's focus on a person that's been destabilized by the United States coming to another country. They're the problem. It's not the billionaires. Give me a break. But let me continue. Jump Jean Pierre not claims to be an independent certainly isn't helping her former colleagues rebuild their lost trust. Um, So yeah. Let me continue. It says details from the book are still sketchy, but Jean Pierre should provide readers with an inside look of what happened after Biden's disastrous debate with Republican presidential nominee Donald Trump a year ago this month. Jean Pierre's co-workers have already reacted to the book with contempt. Former colleagues expressed confusion at how Jean Pierre seemingly intends to plant Biden as a victim while pinning her own decision to leave the party on his broken White House. Politico reported citing multiple former Biden administration officials who spoke on condition of ambiguity. Um, yeah, those people want to continue to get power, so they ain't gonna expose themselves. It says Caitlin Lejaski, a Democratic strategist who worked on the Commerce Department communications team during Biden's presidency, took on barge with Jean Pierre's assertion that the Democratic Party betrayed Biden. Um, Kamala Harris and the entire Biden-Harris campaign did heroes work to avoid losing 400 electoral votes and giving Republicans a supermajority in the Congress, which is what would have happened if he stayed on the ticket. Um, Lejeski told Politico, "It's more productive to focus on that and to thank Biden for doing the responsible thing by stepping aside than it is to pretend this is an unwarranted act of betrayal." Uh, it says, but party leaders continue to squabble over whether a now former president was not betrayed by fellow Democrats entirely misses the larger point. Far too many Democrats, Jean-Pierre concluded, work hard to deceive Americans. Their willful lack of self-awareness about their gaslighting and dishonesty is why the party has shown no signs of recovering from the last disastrous election cycle. Um, Jean-Pierre's book will be far from the first to address the deception at the heart of the Biden White House. On May 20th, journalists Jake Tapper and Alex Thompson released original sin, which described in detail Biden's cognitive decline and the mind-boggling efforts which his inner circle in the Democratic Party um, tried to hide the truth from Americans. Um, um, it says, so yeah, I'm gonna end it there. Yeah, this is a conservative, but I picked that article out because yeah, like it basically saying yeah, she's a hypocrite. Like yeah, like to pretend that your president didn't have any cognitive issues, and now coming out saying, "Oh, I'm cleaning my hands because I'm independent now." So basically, you become independent just to really sell this book. Like I'm just gonna keep it 100. Jean-Pierre isn't an independent, bro. She's still a Democrat at heart, centrist, whatever they call themselves. You know, she just want to sell this book. And to be honest with you, like people are curious people. Some people will buy it and read it. Even to myself, I know a lot of people say, "Hey, I should read revolutionary books," which I am. I'm reading their books, but hey, as a reader myself, I might glance at it and see, oh God, all of the mishaps that happened in the Biden administration. So, oh my God, man, the grifter keeps on grifting, huh? All right, guys, on to the next story. All right, guys. So, you know, I feel like we going back like further and further and further back to like the Gilded Age. Like this article give me like 2004, 2005 vibes, bro. Like, are we still like talking about same-sex marriage in the year of our Lord 2025? Like, but shout out to Willie Bragg. He said the same as well. Like, they codified it. You know, the Congress codified it. So even if the Supreme Court overturns it, um, like they don't have the votes to decodify it unless the Republican Party, with their homophobic ways, xenophobic ways too, will which getting a super majority is impossible. So, but I'm gonna read it anyway. It says Southern Baptists endorse effort to overturn same-sex marriage. Um, yeah, like oh lordy, like the same Baptists, that supposed to believe in, like the Bible and um, and stuff like that. Like a lot of these conservatives, especially the Christian conservatives, like y'all know Jesus did a lot of socialist stuff, right? Um, and y'all don't agree with that. Oh my God. It says nation's largest Protestant denomination was motivated by conservative Christian success in reversing Roe v. Wade. It says Southern Baptists voted overwhelmingly on Tuesday to call for the overturning of the Supreme Court ruling that legalized same-sex marriage, with strategists citing the successful effort that overturned the right to legal abortions as a possible blueprint for a new fight. Yeah. Oh God. The denomination has long opposed gay marriage, but Tuesday was the first time its members have voted to work to legally end it, expanding the conservative success in overturning Roe v. Wade in 2022. The vote signals growing evangelical ambitions to overturn um, Arbarge versus Hodges, the Supreme Court ruling that was handed down 10 years ago this month. Um, what we're trying to do is keep the conversation alive. Andrew Walker, the ethnicist at the Southern Baptist Seminary in Kentucky, who wrote the resolution. Oh God, this shit is a fucking cult, bro. Um, Mr. Walker leads the Southern Baptist community that gathers proposals from Baptists around the country to be debated and put to a vote at the meeting. Baptists, he said, are taking the long view inspired by the tactics of the anti-abortion movement. Roe v. Wade granted a constitutional right to abortion. It stood for nearly 50 years before activists and legal strategists defeated it. Powered by support from Christian conservatives, Baptists voted against our bird fail took place at the end of the first day of the denomination's annual meeting, which is being held this year at the convention center in Dallas, attracting thousands of pastors and church members from large and small congregations across the country. Oh, great! The cult members meet at a place to be homophobic, of course, right? Um, the meeting is being held closely as watched as a snapshot of evangelical sentiment on the range of political and theological and cultural issues. Um, um, The measure of opposing same-sex marriage was a part of sweeping and unusually long resolution under the title on restoring moral clarity to God's design for gender, marriage, and the family. Oh God! Oh, you're supposed to have a traditional family. You're supposed to love God, have a husband and a wife and kids. You're supposed to have kids, because just oh man, I've been peeled by cultural norms myself when I was younger. But as I got older, I'm like, bro, like you ain't gotta go by this shit. Like, you know, if these people follow the same book they obliged by, which I'm pretty sure some of these people even don't even read the Bible. They just get stuff out of the Bible, which is written by man, and twist it around and shit. They wouldn't be like this. I mean, I'm just saying, like even the Bible don't. Even some parts of the Bible say, "Hey, free will and all that stuff." That's just. Oh God, man. Um, it says it includes calls for the funding Planned Parenthood for parental rights in education and healthcare, and ensuring safety and fairness in female athletic competition. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God, bro. Oh boy. Female competition it's under attack. Oh man. Oh no. What will we do? Um even though the homeless population is exploding, and uh it might be World War III. We're on the precipice of World War III and the climate catastrophe. Um, but female competition is under attack. Oh man, give me a break, bro. Um, a reference to the debate over transgender women in women's sports. The resolution is non-binding, but suggests that evangel I can't even say that word. Jeez, have long-term ambitions to dismantle an institution that many Americans now accept as a basic right. Southern Baptists who supported the revolution acknowledge that same-sex marriage has wide support. Um, like, yeah, it says here, it put Southern Baptists on the record, said Denny Burke, the president of the Council of Biblical Manhood and Womanhood. Oh, God. Manhood and womanhood. Oh, I just can't, man. Like, this is why I don't talk about stuff. Which advocate for distant roles for men and women. We know that we're in a minority in the culture right now, but we want to be a prosperic minority. Oh God. So I'm gonna end it there, man. I don't want to continue reading this bullshit. So basically, let's end. Yeah, we overturned Roe v. Wade. Let's end same-sex marriage. Oh God, right to same-sex marriage. Oh God. America is going back to the Gilded Ages. I swear to God, man. So anyway, guys, on to the next story. All right, guys. So, I mean, this ain't nothing new. I mean, as of recording of this, Israel has already um, launched airstrikes in Iran, and Iran has retaliated. I say it more of a hardcore way, but I it's one of these articles I had archived, so I'm just going to read it. It said Israel appears to be ready to attack Iran. Officials in U.S. and Europe say. Concerned about a strike and the prospect of retaliation led the United States to withdraw diplomats from Iraq and authorize the voluntary departure of U.S. military family members from the Middle East. When you tell people to leave the area, usually that means one thing: um, war. Um, and I hate war. As I know, I'm anti-war. Um, I'm just gonna read a little bit of this. Because this was 3 days ago. So, Israel appears to be preparing to launch an attack soon on Iran, according to officials in the United States and Europe, a step that could further inflame the Middle East and derail any delayed efforts by the Trump administration to broker a deal to cut off Iran's path to building a nuclear bomb. So basically, Trump, the so-called no new wars president, him in collaboration with Israel, will most likely put us into World War III. But I'm going to continue. The concern about a potential Israeli strike and the prospects of retaliation by Iran led to the United States on Wednesday to withdraw diplomats from Iraq and authorize the voluntary departure of U.S. family members from the Middle East. I just read that. Um, it's unclear how extensive an attack Israel might be preparing, but the rise in tension come after months to which bitch-ass Benjamin Netanyahu of Israel has pressed President Trump to seize on what Israel sees as a moment of Iranian vulnerability to a strike. Um, Trump waved off plan by Israel months ago to attack Iran, insisting that he wanted to change to negotiate a deal with Tehran that could choke off Iran's ability to produce more nuclear fuel for a bomb. 2 weeks ago, Mr. Trump said he had warned Mr. Netanyahu about launching a strike while U.S. negotiations with Iran were underway. It is not clear how much effort Mr. Trump made to block Mr. Netanyahu again this time, which he didn't, but the president has appeared less optimistic in recent days about the prospects for a diplomatic settlement after Iran's supreme leader rejected an administration proposal that would have effectively phased out Iran's ability to enrich uranium on its soil. Mr. Netanyahu had walked up to, bitch-ass Netanyahu had walked up to bombing Iran's nuclear facilities in the past, only to back off at the last minute. So I'm gonna stop right there. So yeah, Israel basically, really what Israel wants to do is to use the United States as a proxy to fight the war in Iran, which will lead to then two nuclear powers. Like Iran has nuclear sites, Israel has nuclear sites. Like this shit, man. Like this shit got some of my comrades worried. Especially when you worry about things all the time. Like I don't, but like yeah, man. So I'm put like ever since this article has dropped, most stuff has happened. So on the next live stream, I will talk more about it. Me and Mike, Left Independent, we are going to talk about this well on our podcast too. So be on the lookout for that. So, all right, guys, that's the show. I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I did. I appreciate you guys watching us. We're growing. We're growing pretty steadily. Well, based on the size of our channel and stuff. So again, shameless plugs. Follow the ATP Network account, Twitter account at ATP Network 247. Be sure to like the video. It's free. It don't cost you nothing. Every like helps. Subscribe to our channels. We on Twitch, Rumble, Twitter, Kick. We everywhere, man. YouTube, obviously. Also to go to GazaFunds.com. Help out the Palestinians in any way, shape, or form, even by sharing the links or just donating. Don't matter. So, all right, guys, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for watching the Good Faith Show. Let me see. Do I got anything else to see? Let me check right quick. Got anything else to share before I leave? I think that's it. So, all right, y'all gonna get the outro screen. I usually have a video to play at the end of these streams, but I don't. I probably do got it, but I gotta look for it, and I'm ready to go. So, all right, guys. As I always say, thank you for watching the Good Faith Show. I'm Andre Morton signing out. Have a good one, and fuck Benjamin Netanyahu.